how will your study of whatever you're studying contribute to your immediate or long-range career plans? Why are you a good candidate to receive this award? So specifically, and I asked this question at the last workshop that I did for this, and it was a little ambiguous. So let's see if you guys can get this. And I want you to mainly look at these first two questions because they're the most obvious. But who are those first two questions focusing on? This is kind of a tricky question. It's not you. This is for some swag.
Me.
In the back. Oh, I thought you were, okay, just an itch. Anybody guess? It doesn't hurt to guess.
Me.
It's not you or me. Those are the same. It's not, could be family. Family is a part of it, but I'm looking for, what was that? Them, family. All right, both of these guys are on the right track. So I'm looking, community. All right, you guys are starting to get it. So let me read these questions again here. Who is the most inspiring person in your life? If you had the ability to change your community in a positive way, what specific changes would you make? And I'll even emphasize these ones. How will your study of blank contribute to your immediate or long-range career plans, and why are you a good candidate to receive this award? The focus is always outside of yourself. This is huge. This is going to give you such a leg up when you're writing your essays and showing that people want to see mainly three things: that you are a leader, a contributor, and involved with your community and others, and giving back in that way. So if you're answering these questions, who's the most inspiring person in your life? They better be inspiring because they show you attributes of leadership, giving back, and being involved in your community. The reason why this is so important is because scholarship committees are giving you guys money not just for selfish motives so you can get a good degree, get a good job, and have a good life, which are all wonderful things. But the main reason is they want to support you to make a difference in the community. And so they want to see that reflected in your essay. Why are you the best candidate? Well, you better show them that, these are the leadership positions that I've been in. This is how I've contributed. This is how I'm getting involved. And so those are important things to keep in mind, that that's the focus of these. Yes?
I had a question about answering the first question. So how does exactly have to answer who's the most inspiring person in your life? Does it have to be exactly one person, or could it be maybe both of your grandparents, or just how restricted are you?
If you write a solid essay and you answer their prompt to who is the most inspiring person in your life, but you maybe throw in a few other people in there for all different attributes and kind of showing them that, I don't think if it's a solid essay, I don't think a committee would necessarily dock you on that. I would try to narrow it down to one if you can, but if you absolutely can't, you better have good reason why you can't. But I'll tell you this much. We had an applicant to GCU. She brought in, there was one scholarship that brought in $40,000, and then she got additional scholarships beyond that. But for the $40,000 scholarship, and this might give you a little insight to that question, she was looking at these scholarships and found one in Arizona, and it was for the son or daughter of a coal miner. Not a lot of them out there. So she put herself and wrote a solid essay. She put herself in the shoes of the daughter of a coal miner. And she said, well, I'm just going to write a creative essay and put myself in that place, talk about some of the challenges, what the home life would be like. She sent it in, obviously on time and on resume paper. But the committee wrote her back and said, no one has applied to this scholarship in the last 7 years. You were the first one, and you were awarded the scholarship, which is $10,000 a year for 4 years. So it's pretty sweet. There are those out there. But that kind of shows you, if you're writing a creative essay and you're wowing them, I mean, there's no reason why they wouldn't be clearly this guy gets it, Okay.
Yeah, she even said in her essay, like, I'm not a coal miner's daughter. I didn't even know people stole coal mines.
Yeah, she didn't lie.
Kind of what I, like, researched. This is what I found out, and she wrote it as, like, a tribute, a thank you, and they were like, yeah, that's obviously what we're looking for. And to give you guys another example, I was part of a selection committee for something similar to a scholarship, and this was the exact question: who is the most inspiring person in your life? And the person who won, I can't remember exactly what it was, but he wrote about an object, which was really weird. Everybody else had these great, famous figures and people and really great stories, but he talked about how a thing had really inspired him and why, and he wrote really great case. So keep that in mind, like Travis is saying. Although you definitely want to stick to the point, you can get creative with how you respond to these, and you're always looking for a way to set yourself apart.
Yeah. So, yeah, great tips there. So no matter what you're looking at, be creative about it, but make sure your focus is always on the prompt and focusing, when possible, outside of yourself, showing that you really are, the goals that you have in life, the academic dreams that you have are focused on making your world a better place through leadership, contributing, and being involved. So how do you start with the essay? Brainstorm. So we all do this in our English classes, but it's important to start thinking about these big questions now, where you see, where have I been and where am I going? So it's important to start thinking about all the things you've been through as a person. Each one of you is so unique, and you've been through different experiences, you've had different challenges, you've been involved in different things. You have different characteristics and hobbies that make you you, which is so vital to thinking about where have I been. And then, in addition to all of you having a unique past, you all have a very unique future. And that's where you need to start thinking, what do I like to do? What could I be involved in? What do I want to leave as my legacy here, on Earth? And it's important to start thinking these big questions, but then we really break it down here in the pre-writing. This is where you're going to bullet it down. So as you start thinking about that, list down your accomplishments, your awards, honors, positions of responsibility and leadership. I have a lot of students that say, well, all I've really done has been involved in my church. I've led Bible studies and trips to like summer camps and kind of been the chaperone for students. That's a huge accomplishment. That's a position of responsibility and leadership over students that are younger than you. So I would definitely list that in your accomplishments. Different things that might be along those lines. If you've been a leader on a sports team, it's definitely an accomplishment. And we can all think about challenges as well. We've all had different and unique challenges in all of our lives, so start thinking about those. Now with this, is that a question? Or okay. So for challenges, do you think that we should just talk about the challenge, how hard it's been, how difficult life is, and leave it at that? Where should we take it? Somebody tell me. Somebody, be brave. Yes. How it changed you. He gets some swag. Important to remember, it's through the challenges that you've been through, how has it changed you and how have you matured? The one word that can sum all that up is redemption. So whether you've been through challenges or you currently are going through some things, it's important to think about the future and the resolution of that. How are you trying to endure what you're going through now? What are you learning? How are you growing through it? Which, excellent answer. So it's important to not wallow in what the challenges are, but really thinking about the redemption of it. Unique attributes. This is where I get to learn a little bit about you guys. So I need to hear some things, and these are for some bits of swag, pens, whatnot. What makes you guys unique? I need to hear interesting facts. So somebody, tell me something interesting about yourself.
I can lick my elbow.
He can lick his elbow. I actually think there's a scholarship out there for that. What? Wow. Applause. Here. Wait. All right, listen up, listen up. I just heard another one here.
I can clap with one hand.
He can clap with one hand. Oh my gosh. Applause. All right, somebody else. Somebody else has to have something unique. Audiophile. So you like make music with audiophiles?
What? Audiophile means lover of sound.
Oh, I get it. He is a lover of sound. So that is amazing. So like, you know all different types of music, and you love. Do you play instruments?
Guitar, learning how to make music visually.
Awesome. Round of applause. He's gonna play us a song next time. All right. Anybody else? Shout it out. Set yourself apart. Yes.
I'd love to just have a time where I just act silly and stop acting my age.
He loves to stop acting his age and goes crazy sometimes. Round of applause for going crazy. All right. We're going to keep moving here. We'll just finish this list off here. So, unique attributes. We all have, varying degrees of things, from clapping with one hand to playing the guitar. It's just a lot of different things about us. So start thinking about those goals. What are your goals? These can be personally for your life, spiritually, academically, careers. There can be all different types. Extracurricular activities. This is pretty much anything else you're involved in. So definitely start listing those activities there. Break it down into a 5-paragraph outline. This is the most important part, to avoid, if you're applying to 20 scholarships, not writing 20 essays if they all require an essay. Because once you get all these things listed down, and once you break it down into a 5-paragraph outline, you have all this content about your life put together for where have you been and where are you planning to go. And then when it's all listed down and broken into a 5-paragraph outline, I think you can start to see really quick. Once you write a couple of these essays, you can kind of tweak a few things for each one. So you just make minor changes, and it's what we call templating your essays. You definitely want to make it creative, and you want to make it unique, because like the coal miner's daughter, those are kind of a one-off. You're not going to get that, and be able to template that from necessarily like this. But for most of your prompts that are going to be asking about your life and what are your goals, you're going to be able to answer a lot of it from what you've already written. So that's a way to kind of avoid writing 20 different essays for 20 different scholarships. Break it down into that so that you, when you do start writing those essays, save those on your computer, and so you can kind of break different parts and use those. So this is an example here. Can I have someone read it? The first example? I just need a reader. Yes?
Example 1. The most influential person in my life was my father, because he was a kind, loving, and generous man.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You have like the movie phone voice.
Excellent. And then with that, if someone was writing this about their father, for who is the most influential person in their life, and a lot of students were writing about their father, how many essays do you think could start a sentence like this?
The majority.
Pretty much all of them. The majority, yes. So while it is a true statement and it's very wonderful, there's nothing too unique about it that's really engaging or telling a story about this person who is the most influential in their life. But let's take a trip to example number 2. Someone else. Yes? Yeah, you can stand up, and I need loud projection.
As we sped down the highway, the quiet and calming hum of the car seemed somehow at odds with the late summer lushness of the Pennsylvania landscape. Without warning, its quiet calm was shattered when my Uncle Alex called, "Watch out!" Huh? Gotta get it, Uncle. Drawing myself out of a sleeping reverie.
Amazing. Round of applause for both our gentlemen. All right. Thank you, guys. So we can see here he's introducing into the story his Uncle Alex, giving some background context to a situation he was in with his Uncle Alex, which is hopefully leading into who's the most influential in his life. So this is just a way showing that he's really, beefed it up with some creativity in how he's telling the story and some very descriptive words in it. So lastly, getting the edge. And just so I know, Ms. Saltis, so where are we doing on time? How much time we got? 20? Perfect. Beautiful. So all in all, before we start looking online here, your scholarship application timeline is the number one thing I want you guys to hear, of getting organized and getting these things on the calendar and making sure that we are getting a substantial amount of application deadlines on there. So get those calendars if you don't, and start putting those on there. So don't count yourself out. That story of the coal miner's daughter one is certainly an example of that. The creativity goes or makes a lot of opportunity, which is that last point there, creating opportunities for yourself. The scholarships aren't gonna pop up in your inbox on their own. It's gonna take a little bit of work to go out there and find them. So you definitely want to make this a regular thing that you're doing on a weekly basis. A lot of the students that are bringing in substantial amounts, I know for one of the students that we had, her parents talked to her and said, you're either working part-time for college or you're going to be applying on a part-time basis to scholarships. And she chose to do that for scholarships and brought in upwards of $30,000. And that's outside money in addition to academic scholarships that she brought in. And so if you guys keep that train of thought where you're applying to these, doing a couple a week, handful a week, it can make a huge difference. And statistics actually show that per hour, like dollar per hour basis, this can be one of the highest paying jobs that you ever have, because it's the only time in your life that you have the opportunity to apply to scholarships. And when you break it down, for the amount of money that you can get per hour, it's upwards of like $500, $600 per hour. So that's huge. And you guys can bring that into college with you. So create opportunities. Anything you want to add, Annie?
Yeah, quick point to number one. I think a handful of you guys raised your hands that you had already started applying to scholarships. How many of you guys plan on applying to scholarships? Right?
Woo!
So I get that in every single one of my classes. I normally have one or two students raise their hands. Well, guess what? Everybody is applying to scholarships in the spring. Whether it's April, March, May, whatever time that is. So keep in mind that if you start applying early, you have the better chance. And I get it, we all write papers for school. Nobody wants to write extra papers for fun. But like he said, if it can be invested in $500 per hour, that's huge. So just use that as a little bit of encouragement for you guys. And make it a goal. Say I'm going to apply for 1, 2 a week, or I'm going to spend 2 hours a week. Whatever helps you guys, get on it, go for it.
Awesome. So this is the first bullet point website that we had up there. This is FastWeb. So this is going to be similar to a majority of the websites that I had up there, kind of the format and layout of it. But this is my mock profile that I've made here, and you have to enter kind of a profile information about yourself. So what's your interest, what kind of majors you're looking at, maybe a little bit about yourself. Because then that'll show you some scholarships that maybe match that criteria. So you want to be, as thorough with those questions, and that's what you have to do to kind of make a profile to be able to log in. You want to be as thorough as possible without giving your personal information to them. And then this is kind of my homepage on FastWeb here. I have my college of interest. It's just one because I put GCU, so that's there. But you can kind of organize if you scroll up to the colleges at the top tab. You can see the drop down. It has all different links there. You can, what is it? Oh gosh. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of different stuff. I mean, these are ads on the side here, so those aren't things that you're going to want to click on necessarily, but the main function of this is very, very beautiful. And then so for colleges, like it helps you link to some colleges. If they have different scholarships, it can take you to their scholarship website. I know for GCU, when you apply to us, because we look heavily at the academics, we automatically qualify you for scholarships. So that'll kind of link to some colleges that you might be interested in and show you those. But if we go to scholarships, top tab, and then we can go to featured scholarships. So these are going to be some popular scholarships, but definitely you should browse these because there might be something that fits your criteria, and you can just scroll down. So here, Foot Locker, Scholar, Athletes, Scholarship. There's all different dollar amounts. CapEx, that's kind of a big scholarship machine. But there's going to be lots of different ones. There's a few athletes there. Tech, Seniors, Technology Scholarship. So this is just some featured ones that are popular. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more competition with these ones because they are featured. So really go after these ones if it kind of fits you and you think you can be creative about it. But if we go back to scholarships and go to scholarship matches. Awesome. And then we can X out of this little ad here. I think it has a, right there. Awesome, and then we can scroll down. This is a great way to organize yourself, so if we scroll up just a little bit. You can say on these, will you apply? And you can kind of say like, might apply, will apply, applied. This is actually a great way to organize yourself, and so you can make sure this lines up with your scholarship calendar, just to make sure you're keeping track of which ones you're really interested in. So this is kind of how you can star them or flag them down, so to speak. We click on one of those. Let's click on amount then. And you can organize these by different categories, so deadlines, but let's do amount. And let's see. So they have a $100,000 one there. So who would like $100,000? $40,000, and then it goes down from there. And I think this list goes all the way down to 500. Yes?
So you said on the featured ones, and those would be the ones that more people apply to. Is there a way you could see ones that are less applied to?
Well, I don't think a lot of scholarships show you like how many people have applied to it. I will tell you this though, because even those featured ones, I say they'll have a little bit more competition. The only reason they'll have maybe like a little bit more is because they're on the featured tab. However, if we think about this, for like that $100,000 scholarship, how much competition do you think there is for that one? A lot. Now, a $500 one. Not as much. I've heard of so many $500 scholarships that only have about 4 or 5 applicants to it. Not too bad of odds. That's not going to be everyone, but definitely it's the case when someone who's not experienced in this or has never really heard a talk like this goes and sees this, they're like, well, I'm not going to waste my time applying to $100. I'm going right for the $20,000 or $5,000 and applying to that.
Can we apply to like a lot of $500?
Yes. And the girl that brought in $30,000 and her mom said, you need to do this on a regular basis and turn a part-time job. That was her strategy actually, was going like from the couple $100 range all the way to like a couple $1,000 range, and did that consistently. Because I think I mentioned the number before, you should shoot to apply to at least 20 of these scholarships. Sounds like a lot, but if you template your essay and you get down those facts about yourself, you're going to be able to kind of plug and chug a lot of this info in and then really focus on getting your essay, to the essay and sending it in. Plus, they all have different deadlines and they go throughout the spring. So you have time to do this, but the sooner you can get started on this, the better. So dollar amounts. So we know that the smaller ones have less competition, the higher ones have more competition. So should we just focus on the low and not the high? Well, 1 second. Yes? No. You're going to find your niche. You're going to find the ones that you like to apply to and the ones that come really easy to you. But I recommend mixing it up and doing, if you drew 20, breaking it up into 5 different segments. So doing 5 scholarships that are 500 and below, doing 5 scholarships that are 1,000 and below, doing 5 scholarships that are 5,000 and below, and doing 5 that are 20,000 and below. And so that's kind of a good way to mix up the ones that you're going to. Of course, if you can do more than that, that'll only improve your chances. Question?
What's the difference between scholarship and promotion?
Where do you see promotion?
So like,
Second to last.
down.
The fourth column.
Yeah, fourth. So 1, 2.
Column.
Oh, on
So
the
next
right
one over.
side.
Column.
So
Promotion, contest. Yeah, what's the difference?
if it's a promotion, I mean,
Like the $100,000 thing is also.
promotions are more like contests. We've all heard like, right? Is that to your knowledge as well?
Yeah.
It's going to be like kind of like a contest. So, and these all say contest, essay contest. So I think it's just how they verify it. But let's click on it if we can. Or we can click on.
Like what?
Yeah, let's just click on one of these, and we'll kind of show you. So it takes you to the profile of the. So you can do this for the promotion one as well. But we can look at it. Tells you the award, tells you the deadline, and then if we scroll down just a little bit, it says how many are available of it, and then it'll say maybe a field of study. I know I'm kind of in this. And then you can click on, this gives you a little bit information here, but this is where you'll actually go to learn a little bit more about the details of it. And so you'll just want to kind of look into it and see what it's really about. If it's a promotion and they have you enter some of your personal information, I would be wary about that.
Sometimes they're just labeled differently too. So, read the fine print, read the description, but know that some outside companies might just have Albertsons or what do you guys have here, Bonds, might be having a contest for the local, high school student for scholarship money. So just make sure you read it thoroughly. It doesn't say necessarily scholarship, but know that there is extra money out there that is labeled otherwise.
But the main things, that are really important, you're going to look at what's the award, what's the deadline, what's a little description about it, and then get a good idea of like how many of those are available. And you can kind of start getting these deadlines down and start applying to them. So this is what it kind of looks like online. Other websites are going to be a little bit different, but have a similar format. So I'm not going to show you all of them, but let me do something here really quick. So, actually, they are here. I said that I live in the area, so I want to give you guys an opportunity. Those cards that I filled out, that's so I can know who you are. So if you like some of the information here, you want to connect a little bit more, definitely let me know who you are. This is a way to connect with me. So this is my cell phone and email. I'll leave this up here for afterwards if you guys want to grab my personal info. And I can even send you some of these slides. But we're going to do a little Q&A for some questions that we have. Does anybody, for everything that we've thrown at them, have any questions? All seems pretty good.
Can you apply for scholarships when you're in college too?
Yes. Yeah, you can do that, both institutional and external scholarships for continuing students. So that's a great question. Some of these scholarships will be renewable, throughout your college career. Some of them might just apply freshman year, so you want to know which one's which. But yeah, once you're a junior and senior, I know a lot of colleges have continuing student scholarships when you're on campus, and then same online.
A lot of students get into a rut of, well, I was never a senior class president, I never did sports, I never was in a club. Guys, there's scholarships for everything. If you have brown hair and brown eyes, if you love the color blue, if your parents, you have a single parent, whatever, there's tons of stuff out there, so I totally encourage you guys to look for it because there's money on the table, and lots of times nobody applies for these scholarships.
So I am from GCU, so I feel like I should tell you GCU scholarships. They're amazing. This is our scholarship bracket. The neat part about these, if we all just want to look at this bracket sheet, these are scholarships that you don't compete with anyone for these. So you can see it's ranked on GPA, ACT, or SAT, and it has them right there, and it says or, because you only need one of those criteria met to have that scholarship. So tuition for the year is like $16,500, so you can see our scholarships, I love them, and we look at what you do best at academically. So if you have more questions on that, I'd love to answer those, but I just want to show you guys that's what our institutional scholarships look like. So you guys can kind of get an idea of what private universities might look like. Then if we look on the back here, this is a really neat opportunity. So the sheet that looks like this and says Discover GCU on this. This is a trip that I coordinate out to our campus for free for all seniors that meet the admissions criteria. So it's our event that we take charter buses about approximately every 2 weeks from the LA area here. We take you out to campus to stay in the dorms, be a part of the student life, check it out, see what it's like, because the campus, I kid you not, is absolutely beautiful. It's practically brand new. There's lots of events going on, so we always take you to basketball games, concerts, and stuff like that. So that's a fun thing for seniors. And no matter where you're going, I always encourage students, check out as many college campuses as you can to see what you're looking for in a college, because you don't want to get stuck in something you haven't really seen before and not end up liking it. So that's a way to kind of research colleges here. But if you have questions about that, I coordinate that trip out there, so I can help connect you with that. But for all this info and GCU info, both Annie and I will kind of stick around here for a few minutes if you guys have any more questions. Are we all done with pizza too? Oh, you guys scarfed it all down. Awesome. Cool. Well, yes?
So a lot of us are busy with college apps right now. When do most people apply for scholarships?
Our scholarships are a part of your application, and there's no deadline for the application. It's actually free. It's online. And once you apply and get your unofficial transcripts in, you'll know within 2.5 weeks from that with your acceptance letter and scholarships in the mail. So it's one of the quickest admissions processes out there.
I mean, like, when are the majority of scholarship deadlines like listed on?
Outside scholarships? They're going to be all throughout the spring.
Well,
Yeah.
if you look at this, this is for students even in 6th grade. This person could have a scholarship for college by applying or sending in a video in 6th grade. So they're all the time, guys. That's why we say get on it early, because everybody is applying to schools in the fall, and then they usually leave the scholarship process for spring. Well, every senior in the country is doing that too. So if you want to get the leg up and you want to get ahead of the game, I definitely encourage you guys to do it now. And sometimes you'll see one that's passed and you're like, crap, that would have been like the perfect scholarship for me. I've seen deadlines as early as October if you're looking at kind of a standard semester long. So keep that in mind.
Neat. Any other questions? All good? Awesome. Well, you guys are all amazing. You're going to do so good. Thank you. And then my business card's up here if you'd like it.